This is the Real Footy Expert Tips Podcast. Thanks for joining us to tip round 21. My name's Andrew Wu, and joining me today, no longer in the clubhouse, Peter Ryan.
Yeah, I just came for a visit and then bailed out. It's actually a single file. There's a tip separating the first four, one by one.
Had to clear out Mark McGowan and his protein powder as well.
Yeah.
I think this might be a left field theory, but his run-in with Ross Lyon, I wonder how dirty was he with tipping North Melbourne?
Yeah, that's a good point. He went in with some sort of, grumpiness about the tips. I'd forgotten that.
Maybe that's the reason
yeah.
he needed to vent. But good on Mark for holding his ground, which he didn't do in the tipping because he's fallen 2 behind in the lead, which is me. I'm the leader, 127 by myself.
Well done. I'm doing a surge tipping approach where I'll just come at you every couple of weeks, see if you try and spin away, and you'll eventually puff out. That's the tactic.
I checked last week. I've been leading since round 6. It's
incredible. And my hubris got to me last week.
You can't be cocky in these things. There's still a lot of tipping to be done. You're second, only one behind him. You could make it up this week. Mark's on 125. He's 2 behind me. And our media writer, Callum Jaspin,
I know,
up to 124. He's been hanging around the sports department
suddenly
a lot more than last
week. Hadn't seen him for like 3 weeks, and then he's just, I'm thinking, Callum's been really friendly lately. Like, what's going on here? And then I realise he's surging up the tipping. Yeah, we'll have to have him on. He's a great guest podcaster, the media writer for The Age.
I was giving him emoji fist pumps last Friday night after the Cats got up. You were at your Spiderbait concert. Were you keeping an eye on the game?
I was. Yep.
They looked all right, the days, and the second half, Cats flexed their muscle, and they played really good footy. And
well
Jake Nile, Jimmy Bartell, Michael Gleeson on 123. So they're still in the mix. They're 4 behind. Okay, we'll get into it. Round 21. I'm calling this moving round.
Why?
Because there's quite a few 50-50 games this week.
Moving round.
How
much are we into this tipping that we're naming rounds?
It's crucial. There's tipsters out there.
We take this so seriously.
Our listeners listen to this because they take their tipping seriously.
Yeah.
And a lot of competitions, there might only be 1 or 2 in it. And this is the week to tip a little bit. Well, you don't have to tip funky, but there's some 50-50 games, and if you get on the right side of the ledger for this, you're going to make your ground.
You have to make the move now. There's 4 rounds to go. If you can't do something this week, you're in all sorts.
Exactly. And the first game of the round, Collingwood against Geelong at the MCG. It's 8th versus 9th. The Pies are without Braden Maynard, possibly Jordan De Goey, who's a bit crook.
He'll play.
And the Cats, bit of a question mark on Patrick Dangerfield, who looked very sore last week.
I'd be surprised if he plays, but Chris Scott, as is his wont, wasn't ruling him in or out. He did say that he would tell us if he was ruled out.
We haven't
heard
anything
particularly helpful.
As of Wednesday afternoon, we haven't heard anything.
This will be a good game. And 8th or 9th is not necessarily reflective, I reckon, of their...
Well, certainly not of Geelong.
No.
I think they're a lot better than 9th. Collingwood, They still need to beat some teams above them.
Yep.
Although they started
Geelong's
last
beaten
week.
Every team above them except for Hawthorn, which they lost by a point to them on Easter Monday. So that is remarkable that their draw has been such that they're sitting 9th.
Yeah, they've dropped a few games to the lower sides, haven't they?
Well, Port Adelaide
a few
and
points
Carlton
here and there.
hurt them.
Yeah, that could cost them when we do the numbers at the end of the season. Chris Scott v Craig McRae, it's 5-2 to Chris Scott. But there's been some close games in there. The big matchup, Oisin Mullin against Nick Dacos.
Yep. He did a really good job on him last time, although the margin was 10 goals, so you can actually do a good job on someone.
Dacos didn't have a good game. He had 30 possessions that night, but he didn't have a huge impact.
I think Geelong will win just because they match up well on Collingwood, even though they're without Holmes and Cameron. Their forward line has been bolstered by Brad Close and Graham Myers. They've made a huge difference.
They've improved, haven't they, the last month?
Yep. And even though they're recording lots of inside 50s and not necessarily getting full-toed odds for it, they're still scoring over 100 points. And that is always a battle for Collingwood, even though last week they did manage to reach that total. I can't see Collingwood being able to match Geelong for the whole game. I reckon it'll be a good first half, and then the Cats will go away.
They're a very honest team, Collingwood, and they're exceptionally well coached. Last week, early in the second quarter, you're thinking they're going to lose this by a big margin.
Yep.
And then they changed the way they play. Howe went forward briefly just before half time, and then I think their defenders took more aggressive positions in front of their taller opponents, and Adelaide couldn't find another way to win.
No, Adelaide does a lot of one-on-one defending, and I think Collingwood exploited that. Having said that, I was at a bar, so it was hard to watch. I wasn't taking it or every single piece of tactical ingenuity into play. Anyway, I reckon Collingwood will win. Geelong will win.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Cats as well. I thought you may have gone your Pies, trying to get one back.
I did think about it, but I thought I'd be safe like you were last week when you pathetically went Geelong against Melbourne.
I was one out as well.
Yeah. And you thought you were brave because you were one out, but really you were showing your true colours going for a team that's always consistent against the up-and-comer.
It was just a smart tip. It was there to be taken, and I took it, and that's why I'm in the lead.
I'm going for the Cats.
Same for me. Friday night footy, Fremantle against the Western Bulldogs. It's going to be hard to see the Bulldogs upset Fremantle. I watched them play last week, the Dogs. And although they won by close to 10 goals, they weren't overly impressive against Richmond.
No, they haven't been overly impressive in their last two wins, actually. Richmond were pathetic, and Gold Coast, they didn't really shoot the lights out, even though they won in that sort of had a 5-goal patch in the third quarter that won them the game.
And the week before against the Eagles at Marvel, they were a bit questionable as well.
Yeah. They're without Aaron Norton, I believe, as well. That's a potential out.
Yes.
Which makes a huge difference to them. The Dockers just keep rolling on. I mean, they've got guns on every line who are in form, and although the Bulldogs have a really good midfield, they'll at least break even, and I can see Josh Tracy and Patrick Voss and Jai
that could be drama,
doing some big damage on Buku and James O'Donnell. Ooh, it could get very ugly.
Are you going to make them your margin tip this week?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, I'll give it to you. First pick for you. Thanks. Fremantle to beat the Dogs. I'm going with Freo as well.
Yep.
All the reasons you listed. And although last time they played, the Dogs ran them close. There's only a couple of goals in it, and they were in front by a long way in the first half.
Yeah.
But the Dockers they're a lot more trustworthy now, and they were just building that kind of...
well, they had the big game last year, wasn't it, for a final spot? And the Dockers won, I reckon.
Yes, it was. The final game of the season.
Yeah, so if they can't do that, then the Dogs have no chance of doing it this week.
No, they're not the side they were last year, the Bulldogs.
Yep.
They're a bit younger, and I'm tipping the Dockers. I don't think many people will be tipping the Dogs. It's not the game to make a tip on because you're going to lose. Next game, Saturday afternoon, St Kilda against Sydney, Marvel Stadium.
This is a game.
This is a sneaky chance of an upset, the Saints.
Yeah, Marvel Stadium, Saints play well. Lost, obviously, by virtually the last kick of the game when they played the SCG not that long ago.
Well, St Kilda people I know rank that, in terms of heartbreak, up there with finals defeats.
Oh.
They were devastated. I think correct. The outside of finals defeats is probably one of the worst home and away losses that they've endured, and there's many of them as well.
Oh, really? They need some counselling. Wasn't that bad?
That may have been sought as well.
Well, Joyceron kicked the winning goal for the Swans. The Swans are getting well. They had 2 losses in a row, but they were pretty impressive last week, I thought.
Does that say more about the Giants?
No,
you still got to win by a decent margin, though.
No, it did, because the Giants put no pressure on them, and they won't find that with St Kilda. Sydney, really, if they're serious about finishing second, they just have to go and get the job done. Charlie Curnow, they've got enough firepower with him, Heaney.
Charlie Curnow against his former teammate Jack Silvagni this week.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I can see him having a day out, actually.
Against his former teammate. Yeah. I think this game will be close. I expect the Saints to give the Swans a good run for their money.
Well, they're always close at the moment.
Last 3 games have been decided by less than a goal.
But between these two teams?
Between these two teams. The Saints have won 1 and the Swans have won 2.
They would have learned a lot from the last time they played them. Remember, St Kilda stopped their run through the middle. It almost forced Sydney to change their game style a little bit and make sure that they had a plan B when that happened. And I reckon they've made some of those adjustments which St Kilda will struggle to overcome.
And I think Marvel also suits the Swans. The
Yep.
dry ground, faster surface, and they're 4-1 under Dean Cox at Marvel. So
There you go.
I'm tipping the Swans, but I think it'll be close.
Yep, I'm tipping the Swans.
Next game, this is on at the same time. Hawthorn against North Melbourne down at Launceston.
Which will you be watching? Yeah.
I will probably be flicking back and forth.
Hawthorn win this easily.
Yeah, they have to win, don't they? It's the hardest gig in footy going down to Launceston to beat Hawthorn, although Melbourne did that a few weeks ago.
Well, that's the reason why Hawthorn. There's no way they're going down thinking they're going to do this easily after last time.
Well, they shouldn't.
And they'll decide, okay, North Melbourne, sorry, but you're going to be the victim.
And North have been their bunnies under Sam Mitchell. They've won all 7 games, average margin of 55 points.
Is that right? Yeah, Clarkson wouldn't like that, would he?
No, well, they haven't all been under Clarkson.
No, but still.
But North, I mean, there's a lot of debate as to whether North have improved this year. I think they have, despite a friendly draw and
Well, they have
and
improved,
everything, because they've won 8
bad
games.
luck.
But they're not as far advanced
No.
as they should.
They should be contending for the 10th spot, and they really should have beaten St Kilda.
Yes,
terms of
St
if
Kilda
you're
had a lot
fair
of
dinkum.
drama before the game
Yeah.
with Marshall and then Max King.
Yeah.
Don't have Sinclair as well. That was their chance to win a game against a team in their
Yeah.
weight division. And Hawthorn, Hawthorn aren't. They're in another league to North Melbourne.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a tough day for North fans.
I think so too. Hawthorn easily. Is that your margin tip or not?
Yes, I'm going to make them a margin tip.
Yeah,
You
brave.
You took Fremantle,
I
the
did.
top team at home who've lost 2 games all season.
Yeah, against one of the, challenging top 8 aspirants.
No, your courage has cost you, I guess. You've been brave in defeat.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, yep, Hawthorn for me in this game.
Yeah, Hawks easily.
We're online all the time. Just search Age Real Footy on Facebook or Twitter.
Saturday night footy, the first of 2 games. Port Adelaide against Greater Western Sydney at Adelaide Oval. I had a look at the injury list for both sides. They're absolutely decimated. These teams are kind of like the sort of sides you roll out for a pre-season game.
Is that right?
The number of players who are out on both sides.
Well, I know Giants, Finn Callahan's massive loss for them.
Oh, huge loss. On top of Toby Green as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably their 2 best players.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're just playing with a weird... That second quarter, they gave this... Well, actually, the first half, they just put no pressure on Sydney at all.
Yeah, they're a strange side this year.
Weird to
the
watch.
Giants.
They need to have a good look at themselves in the mirror.
They're at the crossroads, the Giants, with their list.
I like the fact you've written here that they were dreadful. I love that word. It's such an old-fashioned word.
That wasn't me. That was
Right.
our producer.
Dreadful. And they were dreadful against the Swans, and I can't see them bouncing back against Port Adelaide, although they should, in all, arguments, be good enough to beat them, but Port Adelaide will get this done.
I think this will be a very close game. Both teams hit hard by injury. The Giants, they're still in the race for 10th spot.
The Giants are.
Yeah, the Giants
absolutely
are. Port
Yeah.
aren't, but the Giants have still got a lot to play for.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you the main reason I went for Port Adelaide, not only the fact that Horn Francis and Georgiades are better than any of the Giants players out there, maybe Oliver. Port Adelaide have a good record against the Giants. I reckon they've won 6 their last
they beat them
8
last
or
year
something.
when they weren't that good and the Giants were, I think they won 16 last year, the Giants. So
Yeah.
I think this will be close. I think the Giants will be better than we expect them to be, and mainly because they're a hot and cold side.
Yeah.
And they'll have a point to prove. And they're an emotional team, aren't they, the Giants?
Yeah, well, Kingsley's an emotional character. He is.
Well, yeah, he certainly gets fired up.
Scary.
And I think I'm tipping Port, but I'm not confident. So if you need to make up a tip, this one's one of those 50-50 games.
I agree with that.
The other game on Saturday night, Carlton against the Brisbane Lions at Marvel Stadium. 250th game for Patrick Cripps and Nick Haynes. So I think the Navy Blue Army will be out in force.
Do you reckon they'll have a banner with like Patrick Cripps 250 and then a little thing in the corner with
like a footnote?
And Nick Haynes.
Nick Haynes is
250.
40th game for the club.
They should. Nick Haynes has been really good in the last few weeks, and I admire him as a footballer. He was great with the Giants, and Patrick Cripps, obviously a champion, and they will lift for him.
He was excellent last week, Patrick Cripps.
He was fantastic. And he's a game that they need to win because then they've got St Kilda next week to really give themselves a realistic chance of finishing in the wildcard finals because they've got a tough run home.
Yeah, I think they need. I think they've got to get to 12, so they need to win 3. So they need to. This is one of the 4 that they probably wouldn't be budgeting for. Brisbane and Fremantle in the final round.
Yeah,
and
I don't think they're budgeting for this. I mean, you don't budget against the Brisbane Lions to beat them, but I think the Brisbane Lions will win just because they've won 7 in a row. They're obviously the defending or reigning premiers.
I had a look into their 7 in a row though, just to get a bit of a gauge as to how well they're going. Sydney and Geelong are the 2 big scalps in that 7, but the other 5 are against the bottom 5 teams.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, well, you can only play what's in front of you.
That's true.
Collingwood, I thought that argument last week, which is why I tipped Adelaide, and they ended up beating Adelaide. So I'm not buying it, Willie. Even though you want Carlton to win, I am going to tip the Brisbane Lions. Sam Draper's been extraordinary, and Carlton's ruck has not been one of their strengths.
No, and the Lions will have both rucks, won't they? Fort and
Yep.
Draper, one of the few clubs that play 2 rucks.
2 rucks, great defence. I mean, they're just an exceptional team. It'd be a huge upset, I think, if Carlton beat them.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But if they do, I think Josh Fraser would be home, wouldn't he?
He'd be very well positioned to become coach, but no, he wouldn't be home.
Oh, I think it'd be very hard not to give him the job if he beats the Lions. I think the Lions will
win. But that's pathetic short-term thinking by you, Woo.
We'll get into that a little
Emotion
bit later.
Overriding common sense, even though I think Josh Fraser would be an outstanding coach.
I think he has changed the way that Carlton play.
He's done a great job.
I think there have been games where Carlton have won in the last 6 or 7 weeks that they would not have won previously, and the way that they stuck to their system against Gold Coast last week when they didn't have Harry Mackay, they needed to play a certain way, and they stuck to it, even when the scoreboard was looking a little bit tricky for them at times. So I think that shows that whatever Josh Fraser is doing, the message is being adhered to by his players. So I think if they beat Brisbane, that's it's going to be hard to beat him in that coaching race. But that's a hypothetical because I think the Lions will win.
Lions win, yep.
Sunday afternoon footy, this is another one of those 50-50 games.
Stinker,
Richmond
you love these games.
West Coast. Well, there's not much on the line in terms of the ladder.
This is a hangover, lie on the couch
For
game.
us tipsters, every game's worth 1 point.
Correct.
And this game is very important because it's very much 50-50.
Tell me how Richmond can beat West Coast.
Well, they need to play a lot better than they did against the Bulldogs. They need to be able to chain a few more possessions and not miss 15 to 20 metre targets. That would help. Getting Ben Miller back will help them because they were outmatched in the air last week against the Dogs, who aren't exactly known for their high marking. But still, the way that they play, they don't have the skill to do it, and it's just quite unimaginative.
They're boring to watch.
There's not much to cheer for if you're a Tigers fan.
Boring.
Their best kids are injured.
Yep. Not their best kids anymore, but I feel for them because they haven't been able to train. They haven't had numbers on the track. Clearly, they're trying to play a defensive style that keeps the ball out of the opposition's hands, and it's boring.
They can't move the ball and they can't score. So if you're a Richmond fan, there's not much to cheer about to go to the footy.
No.
And there weren't many at the game last week. I reckon there were only about a couple of thousand in that crowd of 25,000.
Why would you go to Marvel? They don't go anyway. And then they're playing...
Yeah. Well, they should go this week because... this will be their best chance to get a win this season. But do they want to win? Do they want pick one, don't they?
Adamuse does.
Well, he needs a win.
Yes.
Oh, but I don't think he'll get it.
No, I think the West Coast have just got enough of a roll going. I know they've got thrashed.
Yeah, they've lost 7 in a row.
No, but in terms of their...
They've been more honest in defeat, I think. That's what you're saying. Yeah.
Yes. And they've got an opportunity to win, to frank that form. Where players are actually showing that they can become good players, like Harley Reid and Dersma and Shanahan and all these guys that are the obvious ones.
They were okay for a half, weren't they?
Yeah.
And you would say the gap between Fremantle and West Coast is probably about 10 goals?
Yep.
They lost by 70
I think
points,
this will
so-
be an incredibly tight game, and it's a toss of the coin because Richmond supporters will lift. Remember Tom Gross getting run down by Tom Brown last year, right? In the
West Coast are a bit more advanced than that now. I don't
They
think
are.
Richmond are quite as good as they were last year.
Yep, and they're up against old Minnie McWalter, who knows Richmond's game very well.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Eagles, partially because, well, mainly because
I tipped them.
you tip them as well.
Yeah, no, is that your reason?
No, well, if you're in the lead, if you're leading a tipping competition and you lose the lead because you tip Richmond, you just wouldn't forgive yourself.
That's true.
So for that reason, I'm
No,
tipping
that's
the
fair.
Eagles.
Yeah, I'm tipping the Eagles too.
The Sunday twilight, well, not the twilight game, the Sunday afternoon game, Gold Coast against Melbourne. When the AFL were doing the fixture for this, they probably would be thinking, oh, this game could be deciding a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Gold Coast have hardly won since.
Well, you know my views. I've banned the Suns, so I'm tipping Melbourne, even though I think this is a difficult game to tip.
This is a huge danger game for the D's.
Yeah.
Gold Coast are close to a full list. There really should be no excuses for them.
Well, there's no excuses, but I've banned them.
And Melbourne have lost Chandler, Pickett, Latrell Pickett, not Cozzy. Bailey Fritz is under an injury cloud.
Yep.
Melbourne don't travel well.
No.
But they did win. I mean, they have won in Tassie, so
Yeah, and they've won at
better
People's First
team
before.
at the MCG. But they were good for 3 quarters last week against the Cats. And
They're a better team
couldn't
than
match
Gold Coast. They're playing better football.
Christian Petracca against his D's,
Yep, I'll
former D's.
tell him where to go, Petrarca.
Yeah.
That was pretty interesting, wasn't it?
Who was in the wrong?
Well, I think they were both in the wrong, to be honest.
I think Petracca was entitled to tell the teammate to move along.
Yeah, I wouldn't be telling a senior player what to.
No, that was
Using
cheeky.
that phrase, I don't think that's good. Yeah, I'm tipping Melbourne.
Yeah, I'll tip the D's, but I think this will be another very close game. And if you need to make a tip, I think Gold Coast. You got to take the risk, don't you?
Full side, full list.
Pretty
No
much close to a
injuries.
full list.
Yeah.
I think maybe one injury from their best team, but
Yeah, and they'll be, they've kind of now the shackles are off because their finals chances are.
they're in the
2
mathematical
weeks after
territory. aren't
Dimmer ruled them out, they're definitely out of contention. So they'll want to take a scalp.
Yeah, it could be this week. Final game of the round: Essendon against Adelaide.
Yeah, I'm tipping Essendon. No, I'm not.
Crows will win this, and they'll win by plenty.
Easily. Zach
So,
Merritt goes into game 271 for Essendon, passing Matthew Lloyd and Scott Lucas. They were thrashed, and they'll get thrashed again.
Yeah, we won't waste too much time on that.
No.
But you don't want to change your mind, make that your margin tip.
No.
Okay, well, let the record show that I gave you the first choice and also the chance to
Yeah, patronising me.
change your mind. You can see the rest of the experts' tips at theage.com.au/AFL. Make sure to subscribe, rate and review wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to get in touch with us, send us an email, realfootypod@theage.com.au. This podcast is out every Thursday to help you with your tipping. The next Real Footy podcast is out on Monday to review all the action from round 21. Until then, may your team win.